Oh, there's no style today. I just woke up and ran out really quickly, yeah? It's kind of a military boy, yeah, today. Why not? Usually I don't wear caps, I wear hats because hats are for men, caps are for boys. Aha.
Me sentindo bem insossa. Uma pessoa colorida, viva ali, eu aqui. Meu blue, que eu tava considerando uma bela cor, assim, uma cor iluminada. Bom daqui que às vezes você podia ter usado mais.
I'm a Miss Vintage girl. I really appreciate the quality of vintage clothes, and I really appreciate that they're made for a woman's body.
I have a lot of different personal styles, or a lot of different styles, but all my friends call me Chelsea for some reason, because I'm always in like a tight t-shirt and like...
I don't think that's true.
I like to layer t-shirts and just basic jeans.
Why a girl's line instead of a boy's, like a guy's line?
Well, I think we ended up...
She's a woman and I'm gay, and I just...
That's women.
Why fashion is even interesting to us is a lot having to do with the fantasy of it. It's not what I want to. It's just a way of telling a story, this invention, Hester. What would she wear?
So it's this girl that we sort of conceived in our head.
She's everything at once. Awkward, but you can't take your eyes off of her, you know, when she walks into a room.
So Hester, she's, you know, so it is a person.
It's
like
all
a real
about what would
person.
Hester do. Yeah, she's very real to us. And, you know, you can walk, there are a million Hesters in this city, and you can see them walking down the street with kind of messy hair and smudged makeup from last night, and you think, oh, okay, what did Hester do last night? The clothes are very strong statement pieces, so they're for someone who...
They're not for wallflowers.
Not for a wallflower, exactly.
You can see, like, when you say it's powerful, like a powerful woman would be... I can see that, you know? It's simple, you don't really see on the hanger, but once you
put it on, it's
a completely different thing. I read that you wanted to create a collection with porno elements. It's quite dangerous. How do you draw the line?
Well, it's that whole push and pull, because our clothes, I think we always want them to be really sexy, but not in an overt way, not in a vulgar way. So by adding something like vinyl or mesh or some sort of porn, like latex,
just
for
like
example,
small pieces to have
small
in the
details, will give you a sex appeal without having to be so risque.
And that's where Hester can help us, though, because we're like, okay, how would Hester be sexy?
Now I'm going to be walking around the city looking for Hesters.
Well, you're one, Caroline.
Thank you. So, às vezes eu fico na dúvida se aquilo é real, se a pessoa realmente gosta daquela música, gosta de se vestir daquele jeito, para ser cool, para ser moderno. E eu acho que tem uma linha muito tênue aí do que é verdadeiro e do que é de mentira. Então, às vezes, até a gente se perde.
Music is an expression of people's emotions, and it helps them get through everything on a day-to-day basis. And I think the best art and music comes out of, like, when the economy's really bad and New York's in a bad state, that's when, like, the music and the art's the best. If you look at, like, the late 70s or the 80s or whatever, like, the city, when it's a mess, the art's amazing. And, like, the last 10 years has been really boring. But then, hopefully, with the economy, maybe that's one good thing that will happen.
Queria muito perguntar pra ele o que ele carrega. Are you watching me? Am I different or am I...
Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
These are my roommates.
Hey. Hi. They're like, oh.
I would define my own style as basically copying my dad's style, actually. I'm 19. I didn't shave just for you guys, as backwards as that sounds. Trying to look a little bit older. I intentionally invited my friend over. I was like, shit, they're coming to my apartment. It's not my office. Like, I don't want people to think I just, like, sit here all day by myself, like, doing my little t-shirt company. Everyone's making t-shirts these days, so, like, how do you stand out? So many people use it as a marketing angle. Like, oh, we're from New York, therefore whatever we do must be super fashionable.
Yes,
but we don't want it to be about that. That t-shirt we made,
I love it.
that kind of make fun of the fact that we're not from the city. Right now I'm a New Yorker, but I don't see myself as, like, for the rest of my life being a New Yorker. So I guess some people would say if you're not born here, you can't really be a New Yorker. Some of my best friends weren't born here, but they definitely consider themselves New Yorkers. They're kind of just part of the culture and the city and stuff like that. So I guess it's kind of hard to define.
Today I'm a little preppy. I don't know. I don't normally dress like this, but.
Olha só, galerinha em plena rua e de graça ainda por cima. Os museus, eles te deixam até um pouco apreensivo, você não pode chegar muito perto, tem aquela linha demarcando. Aqui não, você faz parte da obra. Quando tá na rua, o cara já postou ali que muita gente pode ter ficado chateado, sei lá. O outro vem e coloca em cima, eu acho que essa é a graça.
I don't do very well with police or authority figures. I don't know if this will work. I think my head's a lot bigger than yours, Peter. But I can't fucking see or talk. I met her family. My name is Judith. I'm a painter and I make collages, as you can see from all the paper on the ground. I find magazines in the trash and then I cut them up and glue them together to make different images, and then I Xerox them. Then I bring them home and paint them and make them into paintings, and then I glue the paintings to the walls. It's pretty simple. I was living in my brother's living room, sleeping on his floor for a while. But we thought we'd go through our neighbor's trash and take all their stuff, and we'd take his magazines and cut them up to make artwork because we didn't have money for buying art supplies. We were just cutting up magazines and gluing things around the street, around our house. I think from working on the street, it's nice to make things that are really bright and catch people's attention quickly, especially in New York. There's so much you're competing with all the advertising and all the other art on the street, that it's nice to make things that people instantly recognize. For practical purposes, because I'm painting on top of Xeroxes, the colors need to be very bright. So I'm kind of mimicking the idea of when people would tint old photographs. I mean, I love to make art, but I don't like to talk about art. Sorry, I'm not very good at interviews.
What you like and do what you please, like an 80-year-old lady trying to do a strip tease. Controversy is an everyday thing.
green being what is Irish, right? Irish green is good, but yeah, I do my best. I recycle. I go far out of the way to put the bottles in the right bins. This is what I wore out last night. Like, normally I wouldn't, I took this off to go dancing, and then now I'm wearing this, so I like my shoes. I wear silly shoes. I don't know. Just silly.
As strange as can be, living his life in Pyramid City.
Tem muitos artistas que se valem de uma obra só. Ficam conhecidos por aquilo e continuam, né? Se mantêm naquela linha. O Michael Defoe é um deles, que ele é conhecido como The Flower Guy. É até um nome bonitinho, eu gosto, eu acho meio romântico. E não deixa de ser um romance, né? Que ele sai na rua espalhando flores por aí.
I've always wanted to be in the city, find a way to become part of the city in a positive way, become part of the fabric of New York. The work in the street really comes to life when you put something outside, and especially the fact that nobody can own it gives it, like it imparts it this real special meaning, that this one-of-a-kind thing is there for everybody to experience, but nobody can take it home and put it under glass and keep it for themselves. It's kind of a shared experience. People started calling me the flower guy because when they'd meet me, friends would introduce me to their friends and say, "Oh, this is Mike. He does. Have you seen these little flowers that on the bottom of lampposts and newspaper boxes and stuff?" And say, "Oh, so you're the flower guy," and it just stuck. This is the original screen. I used this for like 15 years or so. At the time, I was weed pasting paintings in the streets of Soho. I decided to do it with this, just total by accident. When I started out in the early 90s in art school, I didn't have money to buy paper for myself to make these things. So I would go into dumpsters and get blueprints. It wasn't planned, just a total accident that I found these things. And it got me thinking about doing this type of art on the design work of the city itself and then reintroducing it back into the city in a different way. I'm going to mix up some glue. What works really well, too, is sugar. When I was in Amsterdam, a guy who was taking posters down, he worked for the city, he saw me putting posters up, and he came over to me and said, "You know how to make my job really difficult?" I said, "I don't know. Tell me." He says, "Put sugar in your glue." Its destruction is important to me. This is a big part of the flower project that really got me thinking about the ephemeral nature of this art form, because to me it represents the cycle of life. Nothing lasts forever. Something sprouts, lives its life, and dies slowly, withers away, and then sprouts up again someplace else. Anytime you do something in the street without permission, it's got, a sense of there's a subversive quality to it. You're taking a piece of the street back. So many people do it, and so many advertisers are out there. I don't know how much of a statement it is anymore. I mean, nobody is like, "Oh my gosh, somebody put this on this wall" anymore. Nobody responds in that way. It's an interesting contradiction, street art, As much as we'd like to claim that we're against advertising and so forth, but if I put any image repeatedly on the streets of any city, people are going to begin to notice it and begin to know me. And so that's advertising. I'm advertising myself, unless I remain completely anonymous. And I think street art can help us become a kid again and look like a child looks again by reawakening our environment,
I like a lot of country music and stuff, so I like kind of like an urban cowboy kind of look. I mean, I'm wearing the blazer like Dan today, but yeah, I don't know. I'm playing a rock and roll band with Dan, the organs. you play around a lot. And I don't know. I think it's style is just really like supposed to make you feel better. I think it's more of an in and out versus an out and in kind of a thing. You know, if it makes you happier, I don't really think it matters what it is. You know.
I thought that I heard.
That cool? And then I can run to the camera and do like.
Podiam ser democráticos e abrir essa janela também, né?
Even though this has been our only job for the past, 2 or 3 years, still when I go through customs and I write, it's like occupation and I write musician, what a sham. Yeah. It's like, no, I leave my job washing dishes and I play music at night, but that's what it seems like, but that's all we've done for the past few years, but I can't feel like it's the real deal.
Basically started not with any idea of having a band. I just wanted to learn how to play drums. And Matt had found this cool keyboard that he wanted to figure out how to play, and we just figured it'd be better to do it together.
Our friend just told us we were playing a show, and we're not even a band. We don't even have a name.
How long ago was this?
This was 4 years ago, something like that. And he gave us no options. So oh my gosh. And we didn't come up with a name, so we still have the poster where we're listed as they just wrote our names, Kim and Matt.
How should I say? Matt and Kim, Kim and Matt?
Well, it ended up being Matt and Kim, even though it started as Kim and Matt.
We get to do what we love to do. I mean, I get to bang the crap out of the drum.
When that Smile first came out, I remember we used to play in our bedroom, and we had this kind of makeshift drum set of a couple little parts of things that we had to put towels and t-shirts and everything over to make it quiet so our neighbors would get mad. But one day, we remember when we rented that hourly practice space, and the first time Kim could slam those drums, she has some serious biceps, but the first time she could really slam those drums was broke that smile.
Her videos are a lot of fun. I couldn't stop laughing and I watched it. Yeah.
Kim says only because she didn't want to do any of the videos.
I did not want to get naked in Times Square. I was begging Matt as we took the subway there, and I just kept being like, please, can we not do this?
And she didn't want to get food thrown at her.
I didn't want to get food thrown at me.
She didn't want to get put in a dumpster in that daylight.
So he had fun with it.
No, they're all his ideas.
Oh, that's
just having fun torturing kids. Yeah. No, in the end it's fun, and always in the end you're like, all right, that wasn't so bad. But
yeah, leading up to it.
So let's say if I want to get naked, if one day, let's say I decided to get naked in the middle of Times Square, what should I do?
Have you ever blacked out from being so nervous?
Yes.
Where you just you're in the moment, you don't realize what's going on, and you don't really remember it. That's kind of what
you actually
happened.
did it.
Yeah, in the
it was real.
If you look at my face, I'm just kind of I don't really remember it.
I stayed up all night, slept in all day. This is my sound. Thinking about tomorrow.
I'm not someone who's into lyrics at all. I just don't listen to lyrics. I mean, when we write, it's important to me that that it's the lyrics I can stand behind, but when I listen to songs, I just don't hear it. I hear beat, I hear melody, I hear composition, I hear all that, but I don't hear the lyrics. And people are like, do you realize what they're saying in this?
You guys are going to Brazil, huh?
Yes, we are.
First time. We're definitely excited to go somewhere where we've never been.
Yeah.
What are your expectations?
See, that's the best thing. We just don't have any expectations. We just want to go and have a good time. And I think that's the best way to kind of travel.
When you do have these expectations of oh man, this is going to be the best, whatever. It's the same as going into a movie, and it's just nice to know, sometimes to know nothing, because then you're starting down here and it really can only go.
It's pretty much like you started the band.
Yeah.
Not expecting anything out of it, and then suddenly here you are.
Some bands are like, well, I'll only be satisfied if we hit some top 10 single or something that is just impossible. So basically you're just
Don't say it.
Basically you're just setting yourself up for disappointment, though. Every time you don't get there. So with Kim and I, every time we go back to a town we've been to and there's more people there, or every time we've heard our song on the radio or seen us on TV or whatever, it's always just like a success that we can be happy about. So I think, like, if you can just enjoy all the small successes, you're just way happier.